If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And down with the window open, baby, leave our key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be loved. Only for the night. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And down with the window open, baby, leave our key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for some. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for some. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for someday. You know it, hold on, Lord. You know it, for some.
Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phoenix Raceway right here in the desert of Arizona. I am Mike A. Taylor up here in the booth with my really good friend Dakota LaRue, and we are live right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. Whoops. I apologize about that. Tonight, or this afternoon, we have some really good racing for you guys here today. And before we get to that, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our rundown of today's event. Today, these drivers are going to be whipping around this 1 mile speedway for 200 laps, 200 miles. We will see stage brakes on lap 6120, 60% fuel, 4 sets of tires. Your hometown heroes today is going to be Bob Wyckoff in that number 9 machine, and Thaddeus Friel Jr., who will be taking over for one of the drivers here tonight. Your defending race winner is going to be Joshua Grosso. Your average cautions is 13. Record for cautions here is 24, which happened back in season 4. Your average lead changes is 13, with the record being 26, also back in season 3 as well. Dakota, would you like to go ahead and take over for our weather today?
Oh, yes, sir. Give me one moment here as I'm in the process of getting it pulled up. All right. It looks like we're going to be around 83, 84 degrees with the wind going from southwest to southeast at 11 miles per hour, which is a very high wind. We got pretty low humidity and 0 cloud coverage. So this track is looking to be pretty hot today during this race.
Definitely, it is going to be a torture out here. So we are now opening up round number 1 here for your playoffs. You know, we've got, like I said, we've got a lot of good racing getting ready to switch over here in just a few moments over to our qualifying session. But while we are waiting to do that, let's go ahead and take a look here on top of our leaderboards. As you guys can see here, all the names that you see in yellow are your playoff drivers. This is going to be something everybody is going to want to watch, as we actually have 2 drivers out today that are in the playoffs, and that's going to be that number 17 of Alyssa Sharp and who was that second driver? Let me grab my notes up here real quick.
Trying to look myself at the moment, and I quite can't find the message or the notes for it. Sorry about that. That's a little bit on me.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We just looked at this here. Where are you at? Where are you at?
While we're at it, Mike, do me a favor, cut your mic up just a little bit for the broadcast.
Alrighty, I'll go ahead and take care of that right now. One moment.
And I'll continue to look for you and see if I can get that found for you. I know Mike and Josh are out, but they're no, not Mike and Josh. Matt Metler is going to be subbing for somebody because they broke some ribs, if I remember correctly. Would that be who you're talking about?
I believe so.
Phil Monzo in the 3 then.
Yeah, so Monzo, he is actually out with some broken ribs. Our thoughts and prayers for speedy recovery for you, brother. Also, it's Jeff Weimer. Jeff Weimer, he is out today. And with that being said, let's go ahead now and take a brief look at our substitute drivers for today. We actually only have a handful for you guys here today. And it's all going to start off here with Brian White. He is going to be in for Mike Iskandar in that number 1 machine. Matt Metler, he'll be in for Phil Manzo, as he is currently in the hospital. Like I said, our hearts and prayers go out to you, Manzo, and can't wait to have you back here. Thaddeus Friel Jr., he'll be stepping in for Alyssa Sharp in that number 17 machine. Justin Barkley, he'll be stepping into that 54 for Andrew Miller. And Isaac Dubs Wilson, he will be stepping in for Jeff Wilmer in that number 60 machine. So we have a lot of really good drivers out here tonight. And while we are on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's also take a look at Ria's top 5 picks for the race. We have Angel Hernandez in the number 45. We got Josh Grosso in the number 23 machine. Mark Gonzalez over in the number 2 machine. Danny Solo in the 10. Michael Hoffledason there. Michael Hoffledason in the 16. And the dark horse once again will be Christopher Walker. So that's going to be an absolute interesting race, as you know, she got some really good picks in here today. So with that being said, who are you going to watch today here in the race?
Oh, that is a good question. I had a name in mind earlier, but let me look through the field here and just double check. So I knew you was gonna ask me that. I think I might go with Danny Solo. I don't know why, I just got a good feeling. I know he's in the top 5 picks to win, but he's been very consistent and had speed. So I think if he can avoid some unfortunate luck, he might have a good chance to win here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Let me see. If I had to choose, you know, I'm going to have to go with that number 22 of Justin Johnson. You know, he's had a tough few weeks here, and I'm looking for him to be shooting it back around. He's currently sitting 4th here in practice, so I'm hoping that, you know, his luck can change out around here today, and we'll see that number 22 in victory lane.
So, as we do have a few minutes here, and people should have had time to see the end of the race now, I just want to talk about the trucks playoff race. I just have to talk about it for a minute. Do you feel okay with that?
The truck playoff race last night.
Yes, IRL.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about that. What a crazy race that was. And
What a strategy call to take 4 tires, start in 10th place, and drive and pass everybody in 2 corners.
Yes.
Like, wow.
Yeah, Heim absolutely did something that I have never, ever seen in a gazillion, actually ever here at Phoenix in the trucks. He put it 7 wide through the dog leg here on the front straightaway. Yes, 7 wide in the dog leg. It was a sight to see. If you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It just absolutely blows my mind. And these drivers here today, they're going to use up that dog leg here on the back straightaway as well. How wide do you think we're going to see here in ISNF?
We're not 7 wide and people are trying to drive on the apron, but I would like to see a couple 3-4 wide starts here. But I was trying to tell somebody about that yesterday. I was like, yeah, you missed the truck race. And he's like, oh, I didn't watch it. I don't really watch trucks. I was like, they were 7 wide going in through 1 and 2. And he's like, there's no way. He said, there's no way they were 7 wide. I said, go look. He's like, I can't believe that. I was like, yeah, you missed a hell of a race, man. I mean, that race overall was pretty good. A couple unlucky drivers, which we're not going to name, just in case you haven't fully watched the race. But it is just very unfortunate for them. But otherwise, that race was a battle. It was a straight just dogfight the entire time.
Yeah, and that is something that Phoenix has been able to do for us the past few years. And, you know, with the way NASCAR has changed it up, they're going to start rotating where the season finale takes place. So, like, next year, it's going to go back to Homestead. But right here at Phoenix, we have seen amazing, jaw-dropping, nail-biting, you know, races to the end of the um of the season, and it really came down quite a few times to you got to win it to win the championship. That is plain and simple, and that's exactly what it has been here at Phoenix. And as these drivers get ready to take to this 1 mile track, that's something that they got to keep in mind. This isn't their championship race. They still got more races after this, and if they mess up here tonight, it can change everything leading up to the season finale.
Yeah, and then another thing I want to point out, just 4 sets of tires for 200 laps, which granted you can go about 70 laps on a set of tires, or maybe a little more if you're good at saving tire, but that is not a lot of tire sets for this track for 200 laps, in my opinion.
No, and that is going to be one of the biggest things. Again, these drivers are going to have to battle. This surface, it is on the older side, as you guys can see. There are cracks here and there throughout the around the track. And so it's worn. It's going to eat up at your tires. And so tire management is going to be absolutely important here today at Phoenix. Because
While you can do the whole race on 4 sets, like it's not like it's the world-ending thing, but I got a feeling some strategy coming to a late race caution. If you're able to save a set of tires, you're going to be in a very good spot. And also tonight is open paint scheme night, so once these drivers get lined up, we should take a little time to look through the field and see what kind of cool paint schemes everyone's came up with.
well, while we got drivers out, let's go ahead and take a look here. That 44, he's hitting out with that Shaw paint scheme. Let's take a look here at the number 43 Hamburger Helper. That's a throwback paint scheme right there for that 43 machine. Angel
I ain't seen a
Hernandez.
hamburger helper in a long time.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez up there up against the outside wall. Lautenschlager throwing out that Foster's paint scheme. Cody Meadows in that Scream paint scheme. And I was told that I need to look at his bumper at some point. So at some point during the race, I will do a close-up and we will see what it says. Nick Johnson in that number 35 machine. Looks like an Icebreakers. Yeah, it looks like possibly an Icebreakers paint scheme there. Jaden Wicks in the Quick Trip Red Bull machine. Dylan Lansdale also sponsoring a I don't know this character's name.
Give me a second. I'm trying to get a good view of it here.
It's the clown. It's not it.
It.
No, it's
Oh,
not
it's not
it.
yet.
No, it's not it.
Ronald McDonald.
No, not Ronald McDonald.
Give me a second. I'm trying to look. I'm sorry.
All right, so Chris
I'm
Otto,
lo-
he's sponsoring out that Miller Lite. Dylan
That's Terrorizer.
Terrorizer. Dylan Smith
Or-
sponsoring doing that Spirit Halloween paint scheme. Thaddeus in that McDar Van Ford. Steven Sires sponsoring a Taco Bell throwback scheme. That looks beautiful. The 22 machine. Here he comes. Speed Racer. What an incredible paint scheme. I love it. Absolutely love it there. Christian Delgado back in the car this week. He's in that number 12 Menards. Timothy Perryman in that number 66. Currently all we see is orange and black, but as he hooks it around, he's in that Sport Check sponsored machine. Parker Stranded in Andy's Frozen Custard. Let's see who else we can find here real quick, who's sitting down here on pit road. Here we go. Christopher Walker in that number 11 machine. He is subbing in today. He's doing a throwback to that Domino's paint scheme. Let's see who else. Ethan Farless. He's going to be in the Bass Pro Shop number 19 machine. We already got Perryman, Ethan.
It'd be a little easier once they get graded up as well to go through the field here.
Shh, I'm having fun. Okay? I'm having fun. All right, so let's go ahead
The
and catch
number
up.
17.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and ride on board here with. Uh-oh.
All right, I did get a note to refresh the paints because somebody's paint just now started working
All right,
in
not
the
a problem.
19 car.
We can go ahead and reload the paints. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are going to get ready to rock and roll. And we are going to go ahead and start off here with our starting lineup. Let's see what kind of views we can get here. There he is. Starting on the pole is going to be that number 43 of Will Austin with Craig Lautenslager in that number 77 machine to his outside. As we get some of these paint schemes here loaded up. There we go. Craig Lautenslager. Yep. Fosters. All right. Inside row number 2, we have that number 88 machine. Actually, that's the 78 machine of Jimmy Johnson. Justin Johnson in the 22 will be to his outside. Inside of row number 3, you've got Charles Robertson in that Nextel machine. To his outside, you have the number 45 of Angel Hernandez. Row 4, you've got the number 42 machine of Gabe Ledger and Cody Meadows to his outside. Row number 5, you got Joey Maines and Nicholas Johnson. Row number 6, you got Jordan Wicks and Dylan Lansdowne. Row number 7, you have Chris Otto and David Justin. John Hopley and Zach Phillips Sr., they will make up row number 8. Row number 9, you have Dylan Smith and Chris Bishop. Fabrico Lamana, he'll be in that number 44 machine with Steven Sire to his outside. Row number 11, you got Larry Fairman, Justin Barkley, James Bowles, and Matt Metler round out top your row 12. Here we go. Whoop, I think I went a little too far on that one. No, I did not. Okay. Row 13, you have Scott Trusty, Parker Stranded, Thaddeus Friel, Eric Jorgensen, Timothy Perry, Danny Solo, Matt Hoffledason, Christian Delgado, Isaac Wilson, Thomas Flynn, Christopher Walker, Chris Van Mastert, Ethan Farless, David Anderson, Bob Wyckoff, Brian Treadwell, Mark Gonzalez, and Brian White will round out your 42 car field here as we are green flag racing here as we get underway, and these drivers are already making it 3 wide. A tap by the 42 charges that number 21 machine up the track, but things are getting hectic out here as the caution will wave.
So out of all the paint schemes, I think I like the 17, the Reese's Halloween paint scheme.
Alrighty, yeah, let's go ahead and come back here. I forgot how quick one lap is here under caution. Let's go back here, take a look, and see if we can digest what happened here. As they were going 3 wide, the 21 goes up into the wall. Oh, that all happened behind them. Looks like yeah, Ethan Farless. Let's come back here. All right, now that we got Ethan here on board, now we can actually get a look to see here what happened to these drivers out here. Seems like he was just a little late to the party, and like he just went up straight up the track, it looked like. David Justin here involved as well.
Yeah, from my point of view, it kind of looks like Dylan Smith gave John Hopley just a little bit of a touch on the left rear, and it caused him to get loose and come up in front of a couple other drivers there.
Yeah, and then we have David Justin. He's facing the wrong way after getting turned around in his machine. So a lot of, I think we had like 2 accidents actually happen there in that instance. So definitely something that these drivers want to pay attention to. But all these drivers here are starting to pull away here as we jump back up here with our race leaders. Will Lawson in that number 43, he's currently out front. Alrighty. So we knew coming in that this race was going to be interesting, and right off the bat, you know, as everybody saw, the drivers dove down into the dogleg after the start finish line. You know, that's just very interesting to watch as we go ahead and double up here again. As we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling again, we have Jimmy Johnson on the outside. Pace car is in, and everybody's got to remember, you know, it's a long way to that restart zone over here in turn 1.
Yeah, the pit definitely starts in a weird place at this, you know, this track. I mean, besides maybe like Bristol having a little bit more confusing pit road, but
Yep, that's because they changed the start finish line over here towards the first set of the dog leg, as we are green flag racing once again, and you just see all these drivers coming down using that dog leg down here, and they're going to all come back up the track and continue to run side by side here through turns 1 and 2.
one of the big things about Phoenix is it's one of the most sketchy restarts, like track wise, as everyone gets fanned out 3 or 4 or 5, and then you gotta kind of cram it into 1 and 2. You really don't want to be on the apron because you'll lose grip and time there, so you're kind of just forced to get all side by side and close together.
Oh, definitely. As you guys see, Craig Lautenslager in that number 77 Foster Chevrolet, he's trying to work his way around that number 78 of Jimmy Johnson, as they will now drag race down the back straightaway and head back down into turns 3 and 4. And that is something that I may mess up here, you guys. If I say 1 and 2 at that point, I'm sorry. Just throwing it out there. But we have awesome racing so far here at Phoenix, as these drivers are trying to get themselves sorted out here for this long run, as we now see the true 88 of Jaden Wicks and Gabe Ledger duking it out back here for that 6th spot. Still side by side out of turn number 4, back to the start finish line, down into the dog leg. You know, when I race here, I don't dare touch that dog leg, because every time I do, it doesn't end pretty for me.
Yeah, there was a couple of setups this week that I've ran, and when I got on the dog leg, it would just kick me completely sideways.
Yeah, and Christian Gatto got turned around in turns 3 and 4. Or no, 1 and 2. Wait, where am I? Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, you know, so that was very interesting there. Parker Strande as well. Oh man, that 12 of Delgado, he's having issues. Oh, he's broke. So that's why he's having issues getting that machine rolling. He may need to get a tow. Let's go ahead and come back here, take a look, see what happened to that number 12 machine of Christian Delgado. as they come down here into turn number 1. Let's see here. It looks like the 17 car, he slid up into the 41, and then everybody just stacked up behind him, and then his teammate of Mark Gonzalez turned him into the outside wall, and then everybody was just holding on from there. Parker in that number 41 machine, he was involved as well. He got a little bit of love tap, and he turns around, hits that outside wall as well, and that will bring out our second caution.
Speaking of Delgado, he's joined us up in the booth here.
Hey, Christian Delgado, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, definitely could have been better, but see if we got some damage. I mean, obviously we'll see what the damage is here and see what we can do.
Luckily, you still got one fast repair, so there is always that.
Probably have to do right now then.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how you ended up in the booth. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah, I
welcome
was a
in.
little surprised myself.
Well, Christian, well, while we have you up here, man, what did you see leading up to that incident?
Well, I saw the 17 kind of ship off the 41, and I was just trying to keep my nose safe, and then he kind of just parked it right in front of my nose, and there was a stack up, and then Mark got in the back of me, and I had nowhere to go. So it kind of, I guess, bad place, wrong time. I don't know why iRacing wouldn't let me qualify. Like, I ran 2 laps without doing anything wrong, and it wouldn't allow them. I didn't have a black flag, so I don't even know why I was back there to start with. But it's what it is. It looks like there are no fast repairs, so I think it might be over for us here in the 12.
That is very unfortunate to hear. I'm gonna move you back to your team chat though for the moment, so you can run that by them and get to what you need to get figured out. But you're in Team Pitski Racing, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the driver of that number 12 Penske machine of Christian Delgado. So that's definitely a very unfortunate situation there, as these drivers are getting ready to go back green flag racing, as we see them hit that dog leg, and they can continue to run side by side.
And that was my bad. Apparently there are no fast repairs. I must have read the notes wrong.
Yeah, I know that they had to remake the server. As you see, quite a few cars bouncing off the wall out of turn 2. So that might have very well been a issue with resetting up the server, and something that was probably something that was overlooked. So that's definitely, something these drivers have to watch out for as we continue to see side-by-side battles here throughout the field. I'm going to go ahead and jump here real quick. Take a look here.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Mr. Delgado, though, as that is unfortunate for Delgado, as he doesn't have a fast repair for this week, and he's just going to be DNF out of the race, as he got a lot of damage to his car there.
Yeah, and I can confirm that there is 0 fast repairs for today, so these drivers really got to watch it out. And if
Jimmy Johnson is currently leading us in that 78-88 machine.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing a phenomenal job, leading laps currently. He took it over from that number 43 of Will Austin, who has been very strong here. Oh, and we have trouble. It's that 22 of Justin Johnson. He's around, and that will bring out the caution as the 47, he gets turned sideways in front of the field. Thomas Flynn, just a innocent bystander in this whole thing. He is facing the wrong way here in turn number 3.
So I just want to point out that watching these drivers go through 1 and 2, it kind of looks like the old school car where it's got the weird crab walk, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, as the right rear looks like it's really kicking out in these corners, and it kind of looks like they're drifting the corner, but they have really good, full grip. T and 4.
All right, let's try that again. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yeah, just a little update for everybody. Michael Hoffendinger going from 31st to 8th in 17 laps. Probably our biggest mover of the day so far. And I mean, what a showing for Michael this week as he's really making progress through the field.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal way to start the field, or start the day here at Phoenix for that number 16 machine of Michael Hoffendinger. As these drivers are getting ready to go back green flag racing this time by. And so we're going to go ahead and get our belts buckled up here once again, ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers will come out of turn number 2 and make that long way down. God, I don't know what's worse, this place or Talladega.
Probably this place because it's a long straightaway and then instantly almost 4 wide as soon as you cross the line.
Oh, yeah. As you see some drivers stacking up a little bit in the back. These drivers have to be careful of that as they come out into that O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. And the 78 of Jimmy Johnson gets an incredible run as all these drivers will hit down into that dog leg, go down far down into the apron.
Yeah, that's a really good start by the 78 of Jimmy Johnson there, as he's got a pretty good gap, but he does make a slight contact.
Oh, we have
on the
trouble in the
corner.
back. Looks like the number 8 of Scott Trusty, he's around. We're going to go ahead and currently stay green flag. That's not going to bring out a caution. Yeah, as we come back up here and meet up here with that number 21 of Cody Meadows, as he is currently running side by side with Michael Hoffendinger. As these drivers continue to circle around this track, we heard big contact. Looks like that's going to be Nicholas Johnson in that number 35 machine. He's facing the wrong way over here in turn number 3 and 4. Caution is out once again here at Phoenix. This is something that doesn't necessarily surprise me. Oh, as we have a big stack up here out of the dog leg. I don't think some of these drivers realize that they were checking up already. For some reason, there's something about Phoenix and iRacing. And I'm being honest with, just throughout, even from, our lower ranks, of the ARCA cars, all the way to our NASCAR Coca-Cola Series drivers, for that are the best of the best here on iRacing. Something about Phoenix it's always cautions here at Phoenix, and I don't know why it is. As we take a look here at that number 21 machine, we're gonna ride on board on the nose here of Angel Hernandez real quick. Let's see what we can see here. What's up? That is great, Cody. That is awesome, buddy. If you guys have not seen the Scary Movie franchise, It's one of the funniest parodies out there for Scream, and if you guys haven't seen it, then you guys won't know what "What's Up" is about.
And back to what she was talking about earlier about this track bringing out cautions more than most typical tracks. I think it's really just got to do with the dog leg. It just seems like most incidents happen around that dog leg area or coming off of the dog leg through 1 and 2 as these drivers are just pushing to gain positions and ended up 3-4 wide at a track that's really meant for 2 wide, maybe 3 wide.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here. Again, long trek down to the start finish line here.
Yeah, it's the 77 of Craig's going to be taking over second place over Will Austin here. I'll see if he'll be able to get a good restart on the outside this time. Jimmy Johnson said, "Nah, I don't know about that. I think I like keeping my lead here." As he actually looked like he got a little loose coming on the dog leg there as they're going into 1 and 2 this time. 3 wide towards the back of the pack there. We got somebody into the wall.
Really good racing so far, and you know, early on, especially with that number 88 of Jaden Hicks, he just made it a defensive move to try to keep that number 16 of Michael Hoffledason back behind. So even though we're still early on in this race, only working lap 25, we're already seeing some sort of blocking going on.
Yeah, and once these drivers get spread out a little bit, I got a feeling we'll have some really good green flag runs as we got a car spinning around coming out of 3 and 4 there. It looks like everyone's able to avoid them, and we're going to stay green flag for the moment, but we'll see how that plays out here momentarily.
That is absolute. Come on. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing how these drivers, you know, avoided that spinning cart of Chris Bishop. Let's go back here and take a quick look here and see what happened to Bishop. And all these drivers just absolutely avoiding him. Did a fantastic job as that 51 kind of went in deep, spun him around into the middle of the track. Everybody avoided him. The 17, it looked like, avoided him. What incredible racing there. And somehow we did not have a caution for that.
Yes, Jimmy Johnson's still leading currently, but Will Austin is not giving him a lot of ground and actually starting to reel him back in here as he's starting to get a little more heat back in his tires as we went caution free for a few laps here. We are currently 3 wide for 3rd place at the moment, looking to be almost 4 wide as 5th place was looking to try to get involved into that situation as well, but decided to back out, which is probably for the best as we're having a couple drivers get loose for that 3rd position.
Yeah, really good, strong racing currently. And Craig Lautenslager, he's going to go ahead and take that lead. But here comes Charles Roberson onto the inside now of Hoffledason to try to take back over that 4th spot, unable to make it happen. And right now, Hoffledason, he's moved up 27 positions since the start. And we now have a battle here for your race lead. For a second, Will Austin looked to the inside of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I think Will's trying to find the perfect place to make the pass, but the outside line in 1 and 2 just gets such a better runoff of the corner that you have to really be able to kind of slide job somebody in order to pass them if they're running the outside.
Oh, definitely, and these guys are doing a phenomenal job as they have settled down a little bit up here for your front two. As we drop back now, back to that 88 of Jaden Wicks out of Jackson, Georgia. These guys are continuing to battle it out back here as he's working on the inside of Angel Hernandez in that number 45 Beast Monster machine. Still,
Yeah, he's yeah.
no, still just, I was about to say, still really good side-by-side racing.
Yeah, these drivers are starting to get a little spread out here though, which is allowing for some like more singular battles and not as much 3 to 4 wide. So I got a feeling we're going to be able to make it to the stage on this run here, as we are doing pretty decent.
Yeah, these cars are definitely starting to, you know, find out their paces here, as we see Cody Meadows in that number 21 machine trying to get around that 33 of Dylan Smith, and he gets around him, and he's going to bring Dylan Lansdale in that number 51 with him.
Yeah, as I've been riding on board with our leaders here, it's starting to appear that the top two are getting a little tight out of the corners. They've made a contact with the wall just a slight bit the past couple laps, and it seems like this lap they're doing a lot better, but they are definitely starting to build a little tight.
Yep, that is also, you know, these tires also starting to fade away in this run. I mean, so far, only a couple drivers have pitted under these last cautions, you know, but, you know, something that they also want to, you know, pay attention to is not using up all their tires all at once.
Yeah, you only got 3 extra sets other than the one that's on the car itself, and you know, that's not a lot of tire to work with when you're at Phoenix. It definitely eats away at the tires pretty quickly here.
Moving back up here to our top 3 drivers, or third through 6, I should say. Craig Lautenslager, Michael Hoffladason, Charles Robertson, and Angel Hernandez. All these guys are up here, you know, starting to apply a little bit more pressure on Lautenslager for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, our leader, has also seemed like he found another gear in that car as he started to pull away from our 2nd place driver of Will Austin at the moment.
Jimmy Johnson out of Orlando, Florida, making his 22nd start here in ISNF for Live Fast Motorsports. So he's doing a pretty decent job currently, you know, keeping it out front. Slowly starting to pull away from Will Austin. It's almost just about a 1 second gap between the two. So this is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, especially when it comes to tires.
As we still have about 21 laps left in the stage here, how do you feel about some of these people running a little bit easier, being able to make their way towards the front before the end of the stage?
I think it's the right call, you know, as these drivers have to remember, you know, they only have 4 sets of tires, and, you know, we keep coming back to tires because that's how important tires are here. You know, and as you said, a lot of these drivers are starting to really, really push out of these corners. So that's something that all these drivers are really going to have to start paying attention to.
Yeah, and then another thing, we only got a 60% fuel load for tonight, so.
Yep. So I believe some pit stops are going to start to appear here momentarily. But that's just going to be here a matter of time. As you see that 45 machine, currently duking it out, trying to make his way around that number 16 of Michael Hoffledason as he looks to the inside now. Very good battle here currently between Michael Hoffledason and Angel Hernandez for that 5th spot as these two drivers continue to duke it out side by side. And it looks like right now it's going to be, no, the 16's coming back to the, I don't know, these guys are trying to duke it out to figure out who's going to take over that that 5th spot.
Yeah, neither one given much of an inch there, as it appears somebody was able to finally get to the front.
Yeah,
and that would be Angel Hernandez.
Yep, Angel Hernandez over in that number 45 machine. He will take it over as we now go right on board here with Michael Hoffledason out of Gothenburg, Sweden.
Yeah, Hoffledason might have burned his tires up a little more than he wanted early in this run, as he did gain a lot of positions very early in this race.
And as you just hear that coming out of turn 2, how tight that car got. And he did everything he can to, you know, keep it from getting on into the wall, but unfortunately he did bounce off the wall out of turn 2 that last time by. Oh, yellow flag is out. And it's going to be for Nicholas Johnson in that number 35 machine, it seems. Let's go ahead and go back, take a look, see what happened to Nicholas Johnson. He hit the wall real hard out of turn 2 and then just looped it right in front of that Taco Bell machine. And just very unfortunate there for Nicholas Johnson. As you see, all of our race leaders coming down to the back straightaway. Looks like no drivers are currently going to be taking advantage of the pits being open, and they're going to stay out and continue to turn laps.
Yeah. Now those are guys that need a fuel or.
How's it going, Chris?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Having a bunch of phantom people get pulled up into the booth at the moment, but how's your race going today?
It's going pretty good. I'm not very good at this track, so I'm just trying to stay out of the way, just try to get a few spots here and there with the crazy stuff happens and go from there.
Fair enough. Sometimes it don't matter how fast you are at a track. Sometimes all that matters is that you're able to survive towards the end and get a good finish, you know?
That's the key, especially when some of these races get crazy around here.
You got any kind of a game plan towards the end of this stage here? You got about 10 laps left to go?
Try to stay out of chaos. I have a feeling we're going to have some chaos here. Got some fresh tires behind me.
That's very fair. I'm going to go ahead and move you back down to Front Row Motorsports, and good luck on the rest of your race here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 38 machine, Chris Van Mastert. Yeah, we keep getting these drivers pulled up out of the blue up here into the booth, and I'm starting to wonder. I think I might know who might be doing it.
Yeah, I got a feeling who's doing it as well, but we won't go into that at the moment.
As we go back green flag racing, Jimmy Johnson, Craig Lautenslager, they will take over the top 2 spots as they dive down here into turn number 1. 3 wide back here for that 3rd spot, and 3 wide back for that 7th spot.
Oh, someone made contact. Oh, big contact towards the middle of the field as everyone's able to get around them. Oh, as I say that.
We say that.
Wow.
And we will
Wow.
stay green flag racing.
I gotta go see who that was. Dude got turned sideways and saved it. Dylan Smith in the number 33 getting turned completely sideways there and able to get the car back straight.
Oh, now we have huge trouble here. Oh, hard contact. As that will definitely bring out our caution there. That 47 of Thomas Flynn and Chris Bishop in that 71 machine, both looking in the up in the wall. Let's go back here and take a look and see what happened as these guys were diving down here into turn number 3.
This happened on the back stretch with started with the 87.
Yeah. Very unfortunate situation there. And then everybody else at this point was just along for the ride. A lot of hard hits for a lot of these drivers. Yeah, so let's come back here, take a look and slow. Whoops. Wrong button. As you see, that's the 24 machine there getting into the wall here, as well as James Bowles. He's going to rocket back across the track. And it's the 54 machine. Of Justin Barkley. He went for a long side in 1 and 2. He was able to keep it going. But unfortunately for others behind him, they were not so lucky. As you see, the 87 of Zach Phillips, the 71 up in here as well, and hard contact to the outside walls for some of these drivers.
Well, I was trying to find one of our 2 front runners to pull up here, but I'm not seeing them in their respective radios to pull them up here at the moment. So let's see. It's alright.
All right, we're going to go ahead and double them up as it comes through turns 1 now. Just pick a driver and we'll catch them on the next caution. All right, guys, pace car is off, and we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. Jimmy Johnson in that number 78 machine to the inside. Craig Lautenslager to his outside. Behind them as well, Austin Charles Roberson. As these guys get ready to go back green flag racing into the restart zone presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And we are green flag racing once again here at Phoenix. Good jump there by Jimmy Johnson as these drivers hit down into the dogleg. Lautenschlager holding strong to the outside, but here comes Will Austin in that number 43 starting to fight for that second spot. Lautenschlager having a better run now out of turn number 2 with that outside lane. But here comes Charles Roberson. He's trying to make a run now for that third spot on the outside as they come through turns 4 back to the start-finish line into the dogleg. Still side by side heading down here into turn number 1. Neither one of these drivers giving up any track position whatsoever as they continue to drag race around this 1 mile speedway. Roberson finally got an edge here on that number 43 as he's now looking to the outside of Lautenschlager. And now here comes Roberson on the inside of that number 77 machine now. So now Roberson, he is looking to take over that second spot on the exit now of turn number 2 as they will drag race down the front straightaway. Lautenschlager, he has that position where you want to be. And as they come out of turn number 2, Charles Roberson, he will make it work. But here comes Lautenschlager back to that inside as they dive down into turn 1 and 2 here once again.
Yes, we should be getting ready to come to our stage here before too long, as long as we don't have a caution.
Yeah, big slide for that 16 machine out of turn 2. And now we also have the 44 of Fabricio Lamana and that number 22 of Justin Johnson having issues out of turn number 2 that time by, and the caution will come out.
It hit on the front stretch for the 20 car as he got sideways coming across the start finish line and made contact with, who is that? I'm trying to get to it. Danny Solo in that 10 car. Just very unfortunately, Danny Solo wasn't able to slow down in time and just straight drove it to the door of the 20 car as the 20 car was getting sideways coming across the start finish line there.
Let's come back here, take a look and see what happened on the exit of turn number 4. He got a little bit of help there from the 20, and unfortunately, just like you said, the 10 had absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, kind of looks like the 77 might have gave the 20 a little bump in the left rear as well to cause that to start. And then that transition to the dog leg that's just unfortunate for the drivers there.
Yeah, as we currently right on board now with that number 10 machine as he comes down here into the dog leg, and that 20 just right in front of him had nowhere to go. Definitely very, very unfortunate there for that number 10 machine, but these guys will come down, get repairs on their race cars, and they're going to get ready to do it all over again.
What rhymes with cash?
All right. How's it going, Mr. Johnson?
I've had better races.
It seems like you're having fun down there. I was going to play you up here and see what you think you need to do to try to get the win for today.
First up, I got to get these repairs done. I think I got about 30 seconds left, so we should be able to make our way through the field once we get it all done. But just waiting for that, and then got to learn how to pass some cars. Hopefully get some green flag runs, too.
Yeah, it does seem like it's been a little bit of a 4 wide swinging into turn 1 and 2 fest at the moment, but maybe that'll get cleared up and you'll be able to get some positions back up towards the front.
Oh, yeah, definitely hoping so. Just trying to maximize my points today for the playoffs here.
10-4. Well, I'm going to drop you back down there before we go green. Good luck on the rest of your race, and hopefully you're able to get a good finish here.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 22 Speed Racer Ford Mustang, Justin Johnson, You know, he was my pick to win tonight, and I'm still going to stick with him. You know, unfortunately, as you guys continue to see, you know, that bad luck is kind of like just trailing with him. But I think he can still come back for a very strong finish here tonight. With Jimmy Johnson, Craig Launsteiger coming down pit road, that puts this race in the hands of Joey Maines and Jaden Wicks as they come into the O'Reilly Auto Park restart zone. And we are green flag racing once again here at Phoenix as these drivers now dive down into the dogleg here once again. Out to a good lead here. We have trouble back here in the back. That 43 is around with that 4, and somebody is way out there as well.
And we were 5 wide for a moment there, going through 1 and 2. We're getting closer to that 7 wide, but not quite there.
Yeah, as you see, Angel Hernandez sitting out there out of turn number 2. A lot of stuff happened here on that restart, so let's go back and try to figure out who, when, what, where, why, as these drivers come down here into turn number 1. As you guys can see, these guys are fanned out at least 3, maybe 4 wide here at some point. As we get a better look here from the rear, the 43 just, he had no choice but to go up just a little bit. And that gets the 77 there sideways. Puts the 54 up in the wall. The 43, he comes down and gets into the number 4 machine of John Hopley. As everybody behind them continues to woe up. And then something happens to that number 45 on the exit. He was just on that transition of the apron. And he will loop it here out of turn number 2. As these drivers spread out around to miss him as well.
Yeah, and bold strategy for some of these drivers to take tires, you know, during the latter half of that first stage, and going to be out in the front on a little bit older tires is that strategy could pay off, but at the same time it could come back to haunt them, as you know, they're going to need tires sooner than anyone else.
Yes, definitely, as we are working lap coming to begin lap 66. We did surpass our first stage break, so now we're going to be racing to lap 120 now, and then from lap 120 we'll be running all the way to lap 200 for 200 laps around this 1 mile speedway. As you see, the drivers now doubling it up here once again. As we currently ride on board with that number 51 of Dylan Lansdale. Very interesting view here from his right front, as it looks like he does have some damage there to that right front fender. And just for giggles, yep, as you can see here on Larry Fairman, there's definitely damage there as they go into the Geico restart zone. I'm sorry, the O'Reilly restart zone, and they are green flag once again. Maine's out to a quick lead, and that'll bring Jaden Wicks right behind him, as the drivers behind them will go 3 wide for that 4th spot. Oh, we have that 2 machine of Mark Gonzalez. He got shoved down, way down below the below that yellow line, as we have trouble. The 42 around. Big trouble here on the back straightaway. Hard contact. The 6 is around the 42, as we still have carnage here up here in turn number turn 4. Oh, a lot of hard hits that time here. Let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. Oh, that was actually down on pit road. Took the green. Looks like it has to do with that number 45 machine. Just pure carnage here out of turn number 2. The 45 had absolutely nowhere to go. The 42 of Gabe Ledger, he went around. It looks like the number 4 of John. No, I'm sorry. That's the number 6 of Chris Otto. He's coming back around, and there's that number 54 and 16 heading straight to that outside wall. Very hard hits for those two drivers for sure. The 19 got a piece of it there after he gets in here with Chris Otto, and just everything just let loose from there. You know, let's ride on board with some of these drivers back here. No, not him. Wrong driver. Somebody that we just talked to. Let's ride on board. Oh. Well, let's start off here with Chris Otto. Chris Otto, he got hit from behind. I believe that was the number 16 machine. Definitely very unfortunate there for him. That number 22 of Johnson, he was able to sneak his way by. So let's go back here as well. And let's ride on board here with Justin Johnson as well. Let's see what he saw trying to get through this mess. There it is. As you see him coming out of turn 2, you know, he sees the smoke, he lets up, and he just starts dodging cars left and right. It did sound like he did possibly get hit from behind. But really good driving there by that number 22 machine of Justin Johnson. As we're going to go ahead and head back live.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Hoffendinger, I think he's got a meatball as that's going to be the end of his race. He drove from 31st up towards the front of the field, and just not the result he wanted to see.
No, that's definitely not the result he needed to see here, as we have that number 88 machine, or that 78 machine of Jimmy Johnson spinning around here on the front straightaway, and Calamity Corner once again, as a lot of drivers have to come to a stop here on the front stretch to make their way around. As you see, everybody now starting to pull away now from the race, from the crash scene. A lot of good drivers here involved in this one here. Let's go ahead and come back, take a look, and see what happened here on the exit of turn number 2. Oh, this is a little bit afterwards. There we go. Now we're going to start getting in, I believe. Nope. Still not right.
78 coming out of the corner on lap 72 for 1 2.
There it is. David Justin. That's who I was trying to find. David Justin, here we go. So out of the corner, that 88 of Jimmy Johnson, he just lost it, and that's pure calamity. After that, very unfortunate situation there for a lot of these drivers.
to say it, the term parking lot is typically used whenever, you know, it's a big wreck, but just there, that is literally a parking lot. There's a couple of cars around and everybody stopped on the track like it's a red flag.
Yeah, it's definitely, here we go. As you see, quite a few drivers here pulling away here from the scene. Let's go ahead and jump back live. As you saw, some of these drivers starting to scramble, trying to get back on track before the pace car comes around. And lights are off on the pace car once again. Let's go back. Green flag racing next time by. Driver that true number 88, Jordan Hicks, he'll be joining Joey Maines up on that front row. Maines had an incredible restart the last few times around, so he's doing an incredible job at keeping that number 48 machine up front, nice and clean. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things these drivers are going to face throughout this entire run, is keeping these race cars clean. Alrighty, here they come over here into 3 and 4 and down into the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Shifted into gear. Here we go. An incredible jump once again here by Maines as they go too wide right behind them. That number 88 and 24 machine still battling it out heavily up here for that second spot. But here comes that number 2, Mark Gonzalez. He's trying to make some noise up here and up front, as we haven't really talked about him in that 2 car just yet today. Your front 6, 7, 8 cars now single file as they come rocketing out of turn number 4, back down onto that apron. And that 43, Will Austin, he lost a little bit of momentum there going through the dog leg. So that was very interesting to see, as that just brought that number 22 and 5 of Steven Sire right back up to his back bumper. But here comes that number 6 machine now, who is a couple laps down of Chris Otto. He's trying to make his way, you know, to get a lap back here today. As we fall through the field trying to find a decent battle. And I think I have found one here with Charles Roberson. He's fighting it out with John Hopley and that number 4 machine as they exit turn 2. Isaac Wilson, he's doing pretty good in that number 60 machine, filling in. He's moved up 24 spots as we have the 66 of Timothy Perryman smack that inside wall, but he will keep that number 66 car moving, and it looks like he will stay out on track, so he believes that there's not enough damage to bring that machine back down on track. As we jump back up here to Mark Gonzalez in that number 2 out of Fort Worth, Texas. You know, Gonzalez, he's got one start in, or one win in his last 39 starts here. So he's looking to bring his car back to victory lane. And as of right now, it's a very good possibility with seeing how fast that Menards number 2 is today. Mark Gonzalez working on the inside now of James Bowles, and he will clear him here on the exit of turn 2.
Speaking of fast, let's analyze this 48 for a second here, as he's pulling away from the field with this clean air. And, you know, towards the first stage, he really wasn't up in the front, but now that he's got the lead, he is definitely running away with it at the moment.
Yeah, he's pulled out to just about a 1 second lead over Jaden Wicks in that number 88 machine. He's doing an absolute phenomenal job out front. You know, he's keeping pace. He's not really over driving that number 48 Ally machine. And he is looking for his 6th win for Hendrick Motorsports in that number 48 machine. So he's definitely got a good chance to win it here today as well, as that clean air is working very well for him.
Yeah, and Another story, Will Austin starting on the pole, being in the front the entire first stage, and having to work his way back through the field as he took tires at the end of the stage. And some of these other guys were able to flip, they decided to flip the stage to get track position, working his way back through the field.
Yeah, Will Austin in that number 43 machine. He's made his way back up here to that 5th spot as he's watching the ticker. He is slowly gaining on James Bowles in that number 24 machine. So those fresh tires are working very well for him. But also 2 cars back, we have Justin Johnson in that number 22. He's starting to make some moves as he's looking on the inside now of Craig Lautenschlager.
Yeah, and something else, Will and James, there's a lap car in between them two, so they're gonna have to. Will's gonna have to figure out how to get around that lap car to get caught up to James Bowles here.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting as we have that number 51 machine, Dylan Lansdale, directly in front of him. Well, and we have another yellow out, and that's going to be for Timothy Perryman, sitting in the middle of the front straightaway. And I believe Jamie Johnson in that number 78, he was involved here as well. Let's go ahead and come back, take a look, and see what happened to Timothy Perryman. Oh, it actually started off with Jamie Johnson in that number 78 machine on the exit of turn number 2. It looks like he tried to throttle it up just a little bit too early, and that brought everyone to try to go around him. And then that 66 machine of Perryman just kind of just took it and spun it out just a little bit, held it down, had trouble refiring that race car, but he did eventually get it moving again.
Just had it pointed out to me, if we go look at the 77's hood, there's a little joke we could go take a little glimmer at.
Little joke on that. Let's take a look here. So they're really going to make me use cameras I don't like using today, huh?
Yeah, well, I can do it for you. It says the hood of his car, I believe, says Lawton's Lager.
All right, let's see here.
That's a little pun on his name.
Let me move this over here for me so I can actually see what we're doing. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Oh, there we
He's
go.
driving a lager car. His name is Craig Lawton's Lager.
Let's see. That's on the hood.
Yeah.
Of the 77.
Yes. He's driving a lager car, which is like a beer,
Right.
His name is Lawton's Lager.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a little fun pun there.
Foster's Lager. I got it. Yep, that's good. And, while we're doing this, let's go ahead and take a look at that back bumper of that number 41 machine. No. Where is he at? Cody Meadows, looking up here at his machine. What's your favorite scary movie? You guys tell us what's your favorite scary movie in chat, and we will take a moment and take a go look at it as we're going to circle around to the back bumper of his car, just so you guys can see it. Move it back down. What's up? That is absolutely awesome. I love it. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled racing program. And off of this car view, because it's just not right for streams. But that was actually pretty funny to see. As we are back green flag racing, as we catch back up here with that number 48 machine, as he will take over that top spot, still heading down into turn number 1, as everybody else will drive side by side heading into turn number 1 and 2 here. That number 24 machine on the outside of that 2, but the 2, he will duck behind him as Justin Johnson, he's trying to get around that number 43 machine, but he's unable to do it here on the coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, and a lot of these drivers able to get single filed out for the most part of this restart, so hopefully that'll help with the less cautions here.
Yeah, everything has started to settle down as we're looking at that number 21, or I'm sorry, that number 22 of Justin Johnson, age 21, out of LaGrange, Georgia. As I'm hearing quite a bit of bouncing off the walls in the camera, or on the camera sounds. I don't know if you guys at home can hear it, but I sure can. And so I'm always looking at the relatives, you know, my relative screen going, okay, oh my gosh, where are they at? Who's falling back? But so far, nobody's falling back. As you see, Johnson now working on the inside of that 43 of Will Austin.
Holy cow, Jaden Wicks with a run off a 3 and 40 right on the back bumper of our leader. That was a move and a half as he got a huge run coming out of that corner and able to get to the inside of the 48.
Now back down this back straightaway, heading back down into turn number 3 now. Side by side, your race leaders, Jaden Wicks, Joey Maines, both trying to duke it out. And Wicks, he will go ahead and take it over from that number 48 machine. And here comes the 48 team's teammate of James Bowles in that number 24. He's now trying to get onto the inside of Maines.
Jaden Wicks driving like he's got 4 fresh Goodyears on that car at the moment, trying to get up here to the lead as we have almost just a little over 20 laps to go before the stage here.
Yeah, time is ticking by. Our next stage break is going to be at lap 120. We're working lap 95 now. So we still got a little bit of time to go before we get over to that stage break. But just everybody hold on, you know, we still got some long, good racing to come.
And things can change in a matter of seconds, as we've seen multiple times tonight, but these drivers are sure putting on a good show up here at the front as they are able to be side by side, single file. It doesn't matter, and they're making it work.
Absolutely. As we drop back here to right about that 10th spot of John Hopley and Steven Sire, as these guys are duking it out for that 10th spot. And also behind them, you got David Anderson and Craig Lonsager right behind them as well.
And these drivers still have quite a long race ahead of them, as we still have right at, what, 100 laps? 103 laps this time by?
Yep.
Total, and we have a wreck in 1 and 2.
And that will be for Ethan Farless in that number 19 machine.
Unfortunately for him, it kind of looks like the two might have gave him just a little love tap by accident.
All right, let's go back here, take a look, see what happened. As Farless, he got sideways, then just came back around, got into the back end of that number 10 machine. And everybody else will pretty much be able to clear them just fine. So definitely really good heads up driving by quite a few of these drivers, including that number 10 of Danny Solo. As we are joined by Ethan Farless, driver of that number 19 machine, up here in the booth. The Phantom driver has struck again. Ethan, how you doing in that number 19 today, buddy?
Blood pressure's getting a little bit high. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's typical of these types of tracks, man. You know, you get a little bit of bumper run and a lot of 3-4 wide action here.
Yeah,
I got a lot of damage from one of those wrecks earlier. Somebody didn't hold their brakes and came up the track on me, so now I'm just running around trying to get it all fixed. But I went high to get out of everybody's way, and they still ran me over. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing up there in the front.
Yeah, apologize about the cursing. but that's all right. Racing can definitely be frustrating, guys. So once in a while, it does slip out of these drivers. So I'm not gonna be bent out of shape over it. But man, that number 19 machine though, it looks wicked fast when you're able to, you know, keep the nose straight and start passing people. But it just looks like you just keep getting caught up in other people's mess out there today.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep it straight for a little bit of time, get some of this damage repaired, and just finish this race. That's all I'm really worried about right now. Phoenix ain't one of the best tracks for me, so.
Yeah, definitely not a really good track for a lot of drivers. All right, brother, we're gonna go ahead and throw you back down. What channel were you in, so we can make sure you're in the right spot?
I was just in the general chat.
Alrighty, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, driver that number 19 Bass Pro Shop Toyota Camry of Ethan Carless, getting caught up in a little bit of issues here and there. I need to step away here for about 1 minute. Dakota, do you mind taking over your comms?
Yeah, sure. I can handle that for a moment for you. All right. Craig in the 77, your currently sitting in P16. We got James in 15th, Will Austin in 14th, Joey Maines in 13th, Eric Jorgensen in 12th, Chris Van Maastricht in 11th, Chris Otto in 10th, David Anderson in 9th, John Hopley in 8th, Danny Solo currently sitting 7th, Steven Sire in 6th, and Jaden Wicks is going to lead us to the green here. So we're coming green this time with a really good jump, directly followed by that 22 Justin L. Johnson, as Justin's going to opt to go really low on the boot there and try to get to the inside of the 88 here on this restart. As we got a couple cars in the wall coming through 1 and 2, and these drivers are still battling out for the lead. It's going to be a drag race coming down the backstretch here as the 22 is still looking to get to the inside of the 88 of Jaden Wicks. And Jaden Wicks, just such a good entry to 3 and 4, but the 22 going to get a better run off as he's coming around the outside. Oh, Justin really diving it in there. Will he be able to get the runoff coming onto the backstretch to have a better chance than 3 and 4 here? Is he's not able to. That outside line will prevail. And he's giving him a little bit of a bumper there. That's an interesting move this early into the race, but it doesn't seem like it's affecting Jaden too much as he's able to keep his car going straight. The 22 is still going really low on the dog leg this time, trying to get back on the inside. He will be able to clear this time and try to slide it for a slide job, but it looks like Jaden Wicks is going to go right back down to his inside. Unfortunately, getting on that apron, so he got a little loose and lost a little momentum, which allows for the 2 of Mark Gonzalez to get by him here. But Jaden fighting back on that outside for second place, as Justin was able to get around for the lead.
As we come up here, catch up with our race leaders. Here we go. So Justin Johnson at number 22, he is out front. He's leading Mark Gonzalez in that number 2. Joey Maines in that 48.
Yeah, you missed a good battle for the lead there, man.
Oh, I bet. Was it right there on the restart?
Yeah.
As these guys continue to duke it out here, let's go back and take a look at that restart here.
Ooh, Mark Gonzalez into the wall, going to drop back to third, letting the 48 of Joey Maines back into P2 while you're looking at that replay.
Yeah, so as you see here on that restart here, the 88 and Justin Johnson, you know, they're getting a really good battle going on here into turn number 2.
And speaking of the 48, he just passed for the lead. Dude looks like he's got a turbo button on his car at the moment. Sorry to keep interrupting you there.
It's all right. As we come back here, looks like Jimmy Johnson once again had issues in that number 78 machine. We're going to go jump back to that real quick, see what happened here. Once again, it was on the exit of turn number 2. He just lost it again. Spun it down in the bottom, and he will probably load up that number 78 machine or 79, yeah, 78 machine into the hauler, as he was just having trouble getting bearings on that race car after being so strong early on in this race. And it just seems like dirty air just has not been really good to him.
Yeah, and I don't know what switch Joey Maines has flipped in the closing laps of this stage, but he is absolutely flying at the moment. I don't know if he took and got a fresh set of tires at last caution or what, but he is moving.
Yeah, Joey Maines definitely has something underneath that hood. And while I have a moment here, while everything's settled down, I just want to wish my beautiful girlfriend a very happy birthday.
Tell her happy birthday, sir.
Sure will. Yep, she's going out with some friends tonight, and I'm gonna be on daddy duty after this race is over. So me and the kiddos are gonna have fun while she goes out with some friends and party like there's no tomorrow.
Unfortunately, bud, it's that time of the night. I'm gonna have to dip out on you as I gotta go get to a driver's meeting for a big event that's going on tonight. It'll be right after this.
Yeah, brother, you go do a driver's meeting. Good luck, have fun. Where are you guys racing tonight?
We're gonna be racing Talladega in the ARCA cars for close to $300 to $400.
Now that's what I'm talking about. All right, Dakota, thank you so much for coming and joining us up here. And remember, if you win, I get 25% of that. And have fun, buddy. Good luck, and thank you for joining. And we'll see you next week.
Or you have a good one, bud.
Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, my buddy, Dakota LaRue. He's going to sign out here as we have just about 7 to 8 laps now before the end of this stage, as we continue to monitor this number 24 machine as he comes through the out of turn 4. That number 48 machine of Joey Maines has been absolutely phenomenal in that Ally Chevrolet. He's just pulled out to just about a 2-second lead after taking over from Justin Johnson in that number 22 machine. Let's take a look here a little bit through the field. And we got some racing side-by-side back here between that number 66 of Timothy Perriman out of Nacogdoches, Texas. And he is running side-by-side with that number 38 machine of Chris Van Mastert. He's doing a phenomenal job of that number 38 machine, bouncing back from early issues as these guys continue to try to determine who's going to finish up here in that 19th spot. It doesn't matter if you're running for first or running for last. As long as you have a good race, you know, side by side, nice and clean, it doesn't matter where you finish. And that's one thing I really like about some of these drivers, that they don't care what position it's for. They're going to race you hard. Even if you're a lap down, they're going to race you like no tomorrow. As we have side-by-side action now up here for that 4th spot between Danny Solo and Will Austin as they head down into turn number 3. As we come to just about 5 laps to go before that next stage break at lap 120. Solo all the way down against that inside wall, and he will bring it back up here to run side by side next to the 24 of James Bowles here once again. As Will Austin, he was able to complete the pass, and that's going to allow the 24 to get around him as well, as they continue to turn laps here, keeping it nice and clean. Mark Gonzalez trying to get to the back bumper here. John Hockley, he's around in that number 4 machine on the front straightaway. Dylan Smith, he just went around, and still no caution. Dylan Smith, he will go ahead, jump to the pits. Let's come back here, take a look, see what happened at first to John Hockley. Looks like he got tagged coming out of turn number 4. And then when the 4 started to get going again, he gave it a little too much gas and spun out and got into the rear of the number 33. Oh, contact right there as well. Couple extra hits there, unfortunately. Some of these drivers had to tow it, get back to the pits, but we still have racing going on here as we are still green flag, as we should be getting the yellow flag this time by for our second stage break as they dive down here into turn number 3 and 4 and out of turn number 4. This should be just about the time we see that stage break caution, and there it is. So ladies and gentlemen, your top 10 is going to be Joey Maines, Mark Gonzalez, Will Austin, Justin Johnson, James Bowles, Danny Solo, Jaden Wicks, Isaac Wilson, Chris Otto, and Steven Sire, all getting stage points here at Phoenix. And I just want to say what an incredible turn of events it has been here for Justin Johnson in that number 22 speed racer machine for Team Penske. And just an absolute phenomenal turnaround for that young man out of LaGrange, Georgia, as these drivers are going to look to possibly come down pit road to get some four fresh Goodyear Eagles on their cars. Oh, and we have contact between the, I believe that was the 43 and the 22. Just unsure of what happened there, but both these drivers, you know, they were able to keep it, keep their nose clean for the most part, and they're going to come down and get some repairs done on their vehicles now. All right, and looking at everything here, yeah, Joey Maines, he's going to be out here. James Bowles, he'll take over that second spot. Justin Johnson, he'll come out third. Mark Gonzalez, he will come out fourth. And ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that. The sun is starting to set here at Phoenix, because in one of our views, as you guys seen, you all saw nothing but white, a white racetrack. So that just shows that, you know, the sun is starting to set here at Phoenix. And we still got just about 80 laps to go before this thing is over. Ethan Farless, he's showing that he's still down pit road, getting repairs done on his vehicle. We've got 25 cars currently still in this race out of the 42 that started, as these drivers double up here, as we're going to hit them down here on the back straightaway. Pace car is in, so Jimmy Johnson, David Anderson, Larry Fairman, Gabe Ledger, Michael Hoffledason, Justin Barkley, Zach Phillips, Chris Bishop, Thomas Flynn, Nicholas Johnson, Parker Standrick, Matt Miller, Christian Delgado, Bob Wyckoff, Christopher Walker, Brian Treadwell, Brian M. White, who did not start the race due to some sort of engine issue. So these guys are all still are out of the race, as we are back green flag racing, as we are looking to go 3 wide now for that race lead. Justin Johnson way down to the inside of Joey Maines, but currently Joey Maines is going to have it, as we have a couple drivers up in the wall, and we have one going around. That's going to be the 5 of Steven Sire, as caution will come out once again here at Phoenix. Definitely very unfortunate there for that machine, and something happened to James Bowles heading down here into turn 3. Don't. do your burnout. Get it facing the right direction. Danny Solo has issues here as well in that number 10 machine. Let's go back, start off here with Steven Sires. See what happened to him. As a couple cars got sideways up in front of him. He just too fast getting in. Went down and hit hard into, I believe that was the 41 machine. If I'm not mistaken, that would be that 41 machine of... Rewrite my list. Sorry, the 21 machine of Cody Meadows. I believe he was involved there. Let's come back now. Take a look at, see what happened to James Bowles in that number 24 as they were slowing down. He just got hooked. Not exactly sure what happened there. But let's, definitely very unfortunate there for James Bowles. And now it looks like it's the 60 machine, and I'm not sure exactly what happened there to James. And then something happened here to Danny Solo in that number 10 machine as they were coming down here into the dog leg back up here to turn 1. Yeah, not sure what happened to him, but he had to pull off and get a tow back to the garage. So I'm not sure what happened there with Danny Solo. And it looks like Solo has put his car into the garage as well. So mark another one off as victim here at Phoenix as these cars go ahead and line them up, and we're going to do it all over again. This race is absolutely survival of the fittest. The ones that can keep their nose the cleanest, that is what we are looking at right now, as we have 16 cars still on the lead lap, with Angel Hernandez bringing them up in that 16th spot. It's going to be the 88 of Jaden Wicks for Trackhouse, the number 48 for Hendrick, and we are going to get going here once again. Out of turn number 4, green flag is out. An incredible run there for Joey Maines. Incredible run there for Joey Maines into the dog leg as they continue to run side by side behind them for that second spot. Currently Wicks has it, but Isaac gets way sideways hard into the inside wall, but he is going to keep it down below. And that is going to draw Isaac Wilson all the way back to that number 13 spot, as we now have a battle once again here for second. Wicks versus... Oh, I'm sorry. That's for the race lead. Jaden Wicks, he's taking it from Joey Maines. So that will bring that number 88 Chevrolet to the front as they are approaching that number 5 of Steven Sire, who is that lap down machine. As they come rocketing out of turn number 4, it is still Jaden Wicks, but here comes that 43 and the 77 of Craig Lautenslager. There, he's looking to take over that second spot here from Joey Maines. Side by side now for the battle for second through 6th. I'm sorry, second through 5th. You have the 43 of Will Austin, Charles Robertson in the 20, Craig Maines in the 48, and Craig Lautenslager in the 77. All these drivers, as we do have another caution out on track. And it looks like it's for Dylan Lansdale. Let's come back here and take a look, see what happened to Dylan in that number 51 machine as he exited turn 2, and just that victim of that looseness out of the corner And that's going to bring out our yellow flag here once again for these drivers. And now the first car a lap down is going to be possibly Cody Meadows, I believe, in that number 70 or in that number 21 machine. Looks like he's going to be our lucky dog this time. And there he goes. He has got the signal to pass the race leaders. So jumping back here to that number 88 of Jaden Hicks out of Jackson, Georgia. You know, he's had a very phenomenal run in that number 88 Red Bull machine for Trackhouse. And, you know, he only has just a couple starts here now. So, you know, last week, you know, it didn't end too well for Jaden Wicks in the I believe it was he showed up last week for the for the World 600, I should say. So he's looking to get a better run tonight, and so far he's doing just that in that Red Bull number 88 Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing, as they should be getting that one to go signal this time by. Yeah, lights are off on the iRacing pace car, and they're going to bring Will Austin up to right beside Jaden Wicks here. We want to thank iRacing, ladies and gentlemen, so much for giving us a place to call home here for the iCast Racing Network. Also, big thank you to allowing us to use their pace cars, which is your driver of Fred and your flagman Barney. They've been doing this since 2008. Every single day, they never miss a race. As you see, these drivers starting to have they're still getting themselves sorted here on the front straightaway. As your race leader, Jaden Wicks, going to bring them to the green flag in the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. And we are green flag racing once again here at Phoenix. Wicks gets an incredible jump, but that 43 of Austin, Will Austin, he just did not get moving. So they are going to go now 3 wide for that third spot. And Justin Johnson in that number 22, he was looking to make it work, unable to make it stick, as he will drag race Craig Lautenslager down the back straightaway. Lautenslager, he will take over that position, but here comes Charles Roberson in that Nextel number 20 Toyota. He will overtake that second spot, and he will now charge towards Jaden Wicks as he's looking to continue his growth here in the playoffs and hopefully trying to come home with a win here as these drivers come rocking out of turn number 2 now. Robertson still unable to make it happen, but here comes Austin back to the outside. Robertson not able to make it happen, so he will fall back in line as your top 3 will now just run single file. As we fall back here just a little bit, Craig Lautenslager looking to get to stay in front of Chris Otto in that number 6 machine. Chris Otto having a fantastic night, turning his whole entire race around, and now up here battling for that 5th spot. Joey Maines in that number 48 machine. He's still back there in that 7th spot, trying to make his way back towards the front. We know in clean air that number 48 Chevrolet is wicked fast. Now we just got to see if he can make his way back through the field, as we have a battle for your race lead. Robertson trying to get on the inside of Wicks, unable to make it happen, as they now come here through turns 3 and 4 back to the start finish line. But Robertson will not able to get a run this time, as he looks like he's going to try to make a run on the outside, swing it back down to the inside, and he will clear that number 88 of Jaden Wicks, as Jaden Wicks looking for the crossover out of turn number 2, and they will drag race down the back straightaway into turn number 3, still side by side, no driver giving way. Still side by side out of turn number 4 now to the start finish line, and that will be Charles Robertson to battle or to lead that lap. But here comes Will Austin in that number 43 hamburger helper machine trying to make noise up here in the top spot as well. He was looking to try and make it 3 wide as we get a big wobble out of Jaden Wicks, and that's going to drop him all the way back to right behind that number 48 of Joey Maines in that 7th spot. Now it's all up to Will Austin to see what he can do about getting around that number 20 machine of Charles Roberson. Will Austin trying to come in and change some things up here in your playoffs, as he is looking very strong, and he may be one of the drivers that can possibly contend against Robertson and possibly take that win away from him, as we have just under 60 laps to go this time by. Still really good racing all around this track. As you see, Austin's still trying to make his way around the inside, but unable to do it just yet. Back up here to your race leaders. Here comes Will Austin finally on the inside now of Roberson, unable to complete the get alongside of him heading into turn number 3. So Austin, he's going to have to try something a little different this next time, as he's right on that back bumper now of Charles Roberson. Side by side now for that top spot. You see Charles Robertson just inching in front of him just a little bit, but still unable to make a complete pass. But they will run side by side down into turn number 3, and this is where Robertson was able to make the pass on Jaden Wicks in that number 88 machine. Just a few short laps to go. As you see, Austin, he will take over the race lead heading down into turn number 1, or I'm sorry, turn 2, 3, 4. Here they come into turn 2. And I did it again. Yep, that was turn 2 back there, ladies and gentlemen. But Robertson still very strong, hanging on to that outside lane, as Austin is still trying to make his way to the inside, but still not able to make it happen just yet. And with these two battling as hard as they have been, that has brought up that number 22 of Johnson right behind them, and he brought Lautenslager and Chris Otto with him. So now this is just about a 5 to 6 car battle for your race lead, as these drivers behind these two start to close in slowly. Will Austin pushing wide just a little bit there on the exit of turn 4. Unable to make anything stick just yet, but he's not going to give up in that number 43. As you see, one of the lap down cars there, he will pull off to the side. And that was probably, it looked like that number 66 of Timmy Perriman, as these drivers continue to work it out. And here comes Charles Robertson trying to make a run to the inside, but he was able to hold off and continue to defend against Will Austin in that number 43. Austin is still having issues trying to get around your race leader, Charles Robertson. With Austin just staying down to that inside lane through turns 3 and 4, I think that's probably what is hurting his momentum on the back or on the front straightaway. So I think Austin, he needs to start working on a little bit different strategy on the exit of turn number 4 in order to get that really good run that he needs out of turn 2 to come down the front straightaway. And that right there is going to bring Justin Johnson in that number 22 right to his back bumper. And now we're going to see if Johnson has anything he can do to start making his way back up through the field here. Your top 6 running nose to tail with only a couple tenths separation between all the drivers. So we now have just about a 6-race battle now for this race lead. And we still have 50 laps to go this time by. So we still got a long way to go here, 50 miles. But with these laps quickly ticking away at just about 27 seconds a lap, as you guys could tell, this race is going to go by, and it's going to go by pretty quick, as we have just about, a little bit over 33, 34 minutes remaining in this race if we were to stay green flag the whole entire time. Will Austin still trying to work out what lane is going to be best to try to get around your race leader, Charles Roberson, as they come here through turns 3 and 4 once again out of turn 4, as we have some really good racing now starting to brew up here for your top spots. Just 1 second now separates your race leader all the way back to that number 48 of Joey Maines, as they go ahead and continue to put another lap down here. These 6 drivers, they're just chilling at the moment, just letting time tick away. Definitely a very unfortunate situation here for that number 88 machine of Jaden Wicks. You know, he's still back there in that 7th spot behind these guys. You know, after getting extremely loose out of turn number 2. As we have Ethan Farless in that number 19 machine. He is up here now in the booth with me. Ethan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Calm down a little bit, hoping to watch the end of this pretty good race up here with you.
Oh, absolutely. More the merrier. Anybody is welcome at any point in time to join me up here in the booth, even if I do have company up here. So we always welcome drivers to get feedback from drivers. You know, tell us how their race went, and who do you think has a good chance of winning this race, as we have just about 45 laps remaining.
Well, right now that 20 of Charles Robinson is looking really strong up there at the front. Justin Johnson back there in that 22, and the 77 of Craig Lautenslager. Both those drivers are ones to watch, but that 22 has been wearing his equipment out a little bit faster than that 20. I would say as the run goes on, if the 20 continues to drive away, it's probably going to be him, but always be ready for somebody in that 5th or 6th position to show up who's been saving tires, because that's something really hard to do here.
Definitely. We will have to at least make, I believe, at least one more pit stop before this race is over. And the question is, how many tires do these guys have left? You know, do they have any left in their arsenal for the remainder part of this race?
I've seen a lot of people only pit 2 times during this race, which means they only have 2 sets of tires remaining. Fuel window is about 50 laps of fuel. Don't remember when these leaders pitted next. One piece of strategy that we might see is a fuel run, green flag pit stops. That would be very fun to watch, as you see Robinson maybe lost a little bit of ground that lap on that to that 43.
Yep, taking a look at the last pit time that they all came in. Your leader, Charles Roberson, he came in back on lap 125. Will Austin came back on lap 121. And it kind of is that same throughout the entire top 5. And then when you get to Joey Maines and his company back there, they all pitted back on lap 131. So it wasn't too terribly long ago since these guys pitted, but you know, your race leaders, they're working on just about 30 laps since they last went, came down for tires.
I've been seeing that 20. He's running right against that yellow line. I don't know if he's just trying to save fuel by lifting earlier or what, but he's starting to lose ground to that 43, challenging for the race lead. So this battle for the lead about to heat right back up to after it cooled off just a few laps ago.
Yeah, Will Austin, he's been experimenting the last few laps, you know, to see what line will work for him to get him back to that back bumper of that number 20 machine. So it's just, I personally feel it's just going to be a matter of time here before Will Austin is right on the back bumper here of Roberson. contending for that race win.
A very important thing to look at here is inside lane is the only real way to save tires. Outside lane is faster, but it does wear the equipment out more as you see that 20 migrating up 2 or 3 lanes. It's very interesting to watch how that 20 may have worn out his tires a little bit too much at the beginning of this stint, as the top is that 7-8 drivers all right with him. He's not running away. He's not safe at all.
No, the top 6 drivers still pretty much a single file here, but I believe, yeah, you have Jaden Wicks and Isaac Wilson. They're all, slowly but surely, they're gaining on your front leaders here as they come out of turn number 2 here once again.
He's coming up onto lap cars right now. They're running side by side. That's Perryman on the outside and Hopley in that number 4. Looks like Hopley's going to make that pass. And Robinson's going to have to get through these cars really quickly if he wants to stay ahead of that number 43. Because that 43 is just waiting for him to make one mistake to get around him.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are waiting for that one slip up, and all it takes is one little slip up, and that could just change the whole dynamic of this race. As we say that, we still got about a good 45 laps to go. 35 laps to go. We could still have one more caution.
With what lap it is now, it's only a matter of time before these drivers start edging onto pit road again. We're on lap, 164, he said, 30-something they did it, so. Within the next 15 to 20 laps, we're going to start seeing these leaders on pit road, whether there's a caution or not.
Yeah, and with that being said, if you were still out there, would you try to make it last as long as you can and pray for a caution, or are you going to want to come in right about the same time as the race leaders?
I mean, just me personally, if I was out there, I'd be running, and I was running a ladder into top 10. You see the space right now. You're not racing anybody in front of you. The guys behind you, you're a little bit faster than them. I would just start shutting the car off in a couple corners, saving a little bit of fuel here, a little bit there, and just make it last as long as possible. Because with how short this track is, these drivers are going to go at least 2 laps down. So even if the caution does come out, you're still going to have a tremendous advantage if you do stay out and try to run this long. There's a bunch of lap cars in front of these guys, about a small straightaway. But yeah, one of the most important things that I've learned as I've improved driving craft is learning how to save tires and save fuel, which is going to be key to surviving these longer runs where the leaders are going to have to pit again. So we'll have to see if somebody has that card up there.
Yeah, definitely. If your life depended on it, do not ask me to save my tires, because I promise you, I will not. I cannot save tires. I mean, I could back up my corners just like some of these drivers do. They'll clutch, but before they took away the clutch option in this car, they would clutch like right about where that 3 cones start over on the fence heading down into these corners. I could do the same thing, run them right about the same speed limit, but let me tell you what, my tires get eaten up so fast and I can't figure out why.
Next gens are a little bit harder to save stuff with. It is a 5-gear transmission. It's really hard to make any good time just staying in 5th gear, and you can't really shut the car off at this track unless it's under 50 miles an hour. So it's really hard to save your tires and fuel at a track like this. But in other cars, such as the trucks, you can you don't even have to use the brakes really here. You just have to shut the car off at that where you used to clutch. Shut the car off. It helps save fuel, as that 43 is on the back bumper of the 20 of Charles Robinson as they head back around through turns. I think that's 1 and 2. And onto the backstretch as Robinson into pit road. Green flag pit stops underway.
Yep, absolutely. Charles Robertson making his way down pit road. And now with that being the start of this cycle, the question will be, how long do these other drivers wait?
It all depends on strategy. Will Austin, I imagine he's going to run 1 or 2 more laps in that 20, but he doesn't want to stay out too long because that 20 is going to have fresh tires. He's going to be able to run him down a lot quicker. as you see that 20 doing that agonizing drive down pit road. It is so slow. It is so easy to speed here. It's going to be very important for these leaders to not make any mistakes on pit road.
Yeah, and that is going to be one of the key things about being here at this time in the race, making green flag pit stops is you don't want to speed. You know, you don't want to have a bad transition coming from the track down onto the apron, as we've seen already a couple times in this race that the apron, if you're not careful, it will bite you and make you spin out, or it will bite you and make you go up and hit the outside wall. So you definitely got to be careful getting down onto this pit road. And you know, seeing how we are coming up to the end of this race, it's going to be all about perfection. So that's something these drivers will need to keep in mind.
Charles Robinson in and off the pit road. 48 of Joey Maines is in. Here's Will Austin. He's coming on a pit road. That will make Justin Johnson your race leader in that number 22. We'll have to definitely keep an eye on that 20 of Charles Robinson and see where he pans out. Trying to figure out how many laps down he is. Looks like he is 2 laps down. 1 to 2 laps down right now, so definitely something to keep an eye on if Will Austin doing that long drive down pit road. 45 of Angel Hernandez will take over that second position. A little bit further back from Justin Johnson.
We have trouble behind your race leaders. I'm not sure who that was. That was the 21, and Scott Trusty. He went around off.
Ooh.
And that will not bring out the caution, it seems.
No caution yet. Kind of surprising as that 8's kind of in the way a little bit. They got 21 holding his line. 8 car does come up the track. That will put the 8 car around. Like we said, no caution at the moment.
Yep, just come in.
Yep,
just come back here to take a look at the replay momentarily. It looked like he did get off that front bumper there of I don't remember who it was.
Oh, Scott Trusty and Cody Meadows.
Cody Meadows, that's the one. So definitely, you know, I'm very unfortunate there for Scott Trusty as he did fall another lap down. Cody Meadows still holding strong back in that 6th spot, but your race leader of Justin Johnson still hanging out on the track and still letting time tick away.
So the benefit of the 20 pitting 2 laps earlier than the 43. If you go back and look at the time between the 20 and the 43, there is a gap of about 3 seconds. Now, the 43 is a little bit quicker, but this race is coming to a close. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody has enough time to catch that number 20. But the longer these guys run up here at the front, the more they're going to wear out the 20's tire. So if I'm the 20, he's going to need to save as much tire as he can for when the rest of these guys come into the pits, because they're going to be a lot faster than him.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, with that 20s, you know, being a lap down, you don't want to wait too terribly long because, you know, if you take 3 seconds of what they're doing now and then you add, you know, add on how fast Justin Johnson's going at the moment, you know, that's a 3-second difference, and the more he stays out, that's the more time gained. So just in the last 4 laps now, you know, that number 20 machine, he's gained just about maybe a good 12 seconds.
They're definitely running the front drivers down. It looks like Justin Johnson's still being scored as the leader. He's a little bit brave right now, staying out as long as he is. Looking back, looks like there's 5 drivers on the track, leading the ones who have pitted. Chris Otto, the last of them.
Yep.
As far as I can tell.
Yep, and we will have 20 laps to go this time by.
So this race drawing to a close. Did that 22 save enough fuel to make it to the end, or is he just running it as long as possible, hoping for a caution? We'll just have to wait and see as he continues to work through some lap traffic, as that 20 was able to get his lap back. That 20 of Charles Robinson really fast
here
on
he
the
comes.
same lap now.
Here comes that 22, Justin coming down pit road now.
Kind of locked it up a little bit, trying to get it slowed down. Looks like he does not have a black flag, so lucky break there, as that will relinquish the race lead to Angel Hernandez. He's going to stay out for a few more laps.
Yeah, Angel.
Looks like the eventual race lead is still going to be Charles Robinson as he goes around. Contact with the lap car, the 20 of Charles Robinson in the inside wall. Heavy damage to the left front. No caution either. So huge catastrophe for that number 20. And that's going to mean the eventual race lead is going to be handed to that 43 if we stay green for these last 4 drivers coming to the pits.
Yep, taking a look here. He got caught up with that 6 machine, and then he got off the front bumper there of that 10 machine of Danny Solo. So that's very unfortunate there for that number 20 machine of Charles Robertson, as he will continue to turn laps here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on his lap times, versus your race leaders to see what kind of a difference that impact has actually made on that machine.
As many of you know, this is the first race of the playoffs. Just looking at the playoff drivers, just looking around as you see 17 really high up the track, nearly took out that 43. But Cody Meadows was in the lead after all the playoff points were rearranged. He has heavy damage. I don't know if he's out of the race or not. Angel Hernandez currently, I think he's still in the race lead, hasn't pitted yet. Robinson was leading, but heavy damage for him. So a lot of these playoff drivers having huge trouble, a lot of damage, not able to finish this race in a good position. So this is going to be catastrophic for some of these drivers headed into the next race.
Yeah, definitely. We're still waiting for Angel Hernandez in that number 45 machine to come down pit road. He last pitted on lap 131. So he's going to try to stretch it just about 69 laps. Nope, as he will go ahead and crank that machine back down here and bring it on into the pits this time by, and that will turn the race lead over to Craig Lautenslager in that number 77 Foster Lager machine.
Now about that 77, he's had a lot of speed this run. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the end or not, but I think it's worth a gamble, as I believe this is the driver who won last week at the World 600 back up front here today. Eventual race lead is still going to be Will Austin. He's pulling away from his closest competitor, Joey Maines. It's about 2.7 second gap. So if this green flag pit stop cycle continues the way it looks like that 43 is going to take the race lead over pretty soon. Even so, he is catching that 77.
Yeah, absolutely. So Craig Lautenslager, he came down on lap 168. Meaning
he's already pitted.
He's already pitted. He has a 5-lap difference between himself and Will Austin. So this is going to be interesting. Austin just about 1.5 seconds back behind, as we only have coming to 12 laps to go this time by.
12 laps to go, and that race for the lead is heating up. It's a 1.4, now 1.3 second gap between first and second, as that number 43 of Will Austin is catching the 77 of Craig Lautenslager for the race lead. It's going to be something we need to keep an eye on, as now it's down under 1.2, so big losses for that 77 as he's coming up on 2 lap cars side by side. David Justin and Dylan Lanzell.
Yeah, as we now start negotiating more lap traffic here, Will Austin has brought it down to just under a 1 second gap. As you see, Lautenslager, he's now negotiating through this lap traffic, and he's looking to try to use them as picks to slow down that number 43. But so far, nothing's really slowing down that number 43 machine right now as they come out of turn number 2. And this is going to become a nail-biter by the end of this, as they have 10 laps to go this time by. Lautenslager, he's going to have to make that Foster Lager machine extremely wide, or start dumping some of that beer down onto the track to slow that 43 down.
It's 10 laps to go, but only a 6-car length gap as that 43 is within view of that 77. Make it down to 5 as they head out of turn 2 down the backstretch and headed into 3 and 4. That 43 is there. How hard is the 77 going to fight? So they head back through 3 and 4 to the front stretch. Now the gap down to 4-car lengths. That 43, hot head of steam coming into the dogleg.
Absolutely. As you see that lap down car now of the 45 of Angel Hernandez now battling that 43 car to try to get his lap back. So that's going to slow down his momentum just a little bit here on the exit of turn number 2. So as he's battling, you know, that 45 machine, he's going to try to have to, or I'm sorry, Craig Lautenschlager, he's going to be able to pull away just a little bit, but not by much, as that number 45 machine is still trying to make his way around the race leader to get his lap back. And while he's battling here with your race leader, that's just going to bring Will Austin right back to his back bumper. And in these grand scheme of things, look right behind Will Austin, that number 22 with Justin Johnson. He's making himself known up here in the front battle.
Top 3 all nose to tail, only inches separating the 3 as they head down into the dogleg. 43 are looking to the inside. He has fresher tires than the 77, but the 22 fresher tires than the both of them. He's ran these 2 leaders down as they're side by side for the race lead. 43 dips those tires below the yellow line, but that 77 has that outside lane momentum as the 22 following him through a little bit of contact with the wall. As that 77 gonna hang on to the race lead, they're side by side for second. Through the stripe again. We only have 5 laps to go, and that 22 is coming.
That 22 just overtook Will Austin like it was nothing, and here he comes now, attacking your race leader, Craig Lautenschlager, through turns 1 and 2, down the front back straightaway now. The 22, Justin Johnson, will take over that race lead in that Speed Racer Ford Mustang for Penske, and now all he can do is just hit his marks and start pulling away from your second and third place drivers of Craig Lautenschlager and Will Austin.
Coming into this race, Justin Johnson in that 22 was 9th on the play of Spectrum. This is going to skyrocket him to the top 3 or 4. There's a car. I see smoke ahead.
Oh!
Around, Justin Johnson avoids it. All the leaders do. No caution yet. Oh, Johnson to the wall.
No, Johnson! That will bring out our caution. Whoa. No, Johnson!
Looks like Justin Johnson tried to avoid the car who was spinning and just overcorrected coming back up the track. That is huge for that 77 of Lautenschlager.
That is absolutely massive, and that will put us into a green-white checkered situation. Let's go back, take a look, and see what happened to that number 60 machine of Isaac Wilson, as he got turned off the number 38, and you will see,
interesting,
as you see Justin Johnson trying to avoid, that made him get loose here on the back straightaway into the outside wall, but he will start to continue to move forward as you see these drivers now coming down pit road. Now the question is
going to be interesting.
Yeah, now the question is going to be, do they have another set of tires on their cars?
So a lot of these drivers should have another set of tires, but now we have to beg the question. We haven't had too many laps on these tires. Who's going to stay out? Because we only have 2 laps. I'm surprised there's as many people pitted as there had been.
Yes, Craig Lautenschlager, Mark Gonzalez, Jaden Wicks, Charles Roberson, Justin Johnson, they came down. Will Austin, that number 43, and that number 48 of Joey Maines, they stayed out. Now, big gamble here, and now I want everybody to close their eyes and think back to what happened last night in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season finale with 2 laps to go. Do you picture it? 7 wide, dogleg? What are we going to see here?
I can see these drivers doing it. That's all I'm going to say.
I believe the gloves are going to come off here, ladies and gentlemen. We are setting up now for a green-white checkered. Lights are off on the iRacing pace car. We are going to double these drivers up here, hopefully one last time. Will Austin to the inside. Joey Maines to his outside. Jaden Wicks in the 88, who also stayed out. No, I'm sorry, he came in. So Jaden Wicks in that number 88, he's stayed out.
And look who's back in the game. It's a 20. This was the break that 20 of Charles Robinson in.
Yes.
He's outside of the 3rd row. Does he have a chance to get past these first 2 rows? Does the pace car on pit road?
I think everybody, you guys need to pull your belts tight one last time as these drivers anxiously crawl down to the O'Reilly restart zone. Will Austin, Joey Maines, old tires versus fresh tires, 6 cars deep behind. Here we go into the restart zone. We are green flag racing.
First contact to the 77, and the 48 does not go. Outside lane checking up, 43 through the dog leg, 77 right on his tail. Bad start for that whole outside lane, as that's going to kill that 20's momentum. Here comes the 22. Good run on that
Oh,
inside.
the 20 hard
77
into the
checking up.
outside wall. The 20 of Charles Robertson hard into the outside wall. That's going to slow his momentum. And here comes that 22, still trying to get onto the inside of that 77 here out of turn 4. Unable to do it, but here comes that 77 to the inside for the race lead as they come through the dogleg one final time. Side by side for the race lead, Will Austin, Craig Lautenschlager, but here comes that 22 machine of Justin Johnson, willing to do anything to get into victory lane here in the ISNF series. Slight contact with the wall, heading down into turn number 3 for the final time. Contact! Oh, big contact! Here comes the 88 of Jaden Hicks. He will take over second. Johnson will fall back to third. But ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Craig Lautenschlager, in that number 77 Chevrolet.
All finished. That 22 is trying to get that 77 out of the group, but it backfired as 77 with hands of steel keeps it straight and will take the checkered flag here at Phoenix Raceway. What a finish, Mike.
Wow. Never have I ever here at Phoenix witnessed an incredible run that we just saw. You know, these guys, you know, they came in with these fresh tires. Will Austin and that 43 who did not come down that final pit stop, he fell back to 4th. Who was up there with him? Angel Hernandez in the 45. He snuck his way up to the top. Mark Gonzalez came back for 7th place. But I feel like we're missing somebody up here that was on that front row.
That 48 fell all the way back down to 8th. Joey Maines.
Yes,
did not
that's who
start
it
on that
was.
restart, and that checkup is eventually what put that 20 in the wall. He comes in that 10th position, last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, let's go back here on to this final restart. And down into the restart zone, you see that number 48 machine. As they come into the restart zone, everybody fires off except that 48 machine. He doesn't go, and that makes a big old gaggle of cars behind him. And so you see these drivers now dive here up into turn number 1. But I want to jump back here to that number 20 machine of Roberson, as he got a tad bit loose, came down, hit hard into another car, and that's going to drop him all the way back here to that 10th spot. So definitely really hard hits by a lot of these drivers, but at the end of the day, Craig Lautenschlager, he was able to bring home that race win. But man, what an incredible last couple laps here for a lot of these drivers.
We're still waiting on a couple people to enter the chat to interview them. But it looks like if I can get this to work, we'll be able to interview the 22 of Justin Johnson. After that fascinating finish here, Justin Johnson. Hey, Justin, this is Fearless up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, I hear you guys.
Oh, what a finish in the battle up until that last lap. Talk us through that mistake that brought out that caution and then battling back to come in third.
Well, honestly, I don't believe that was any sort of mistake. Like, I saw the incident already, so Isaac, he just lost it. And I didn't expect there to be a car in my mirror 100 feet in front of me. So, and you know how the next gen handles. So when I turned left that hard and I already took 2 tires on the pit stop, it just didn't want to go back straight. So I didn't really appreciate Isaac rejoining the track like that, but still a P3 finish. So it is what it is, I suppose.
Definitely a very good comeback for you in that number 22 Speed Racer Ford Mustang, though. having those kind of issues early on, but coming back all the way to a third spot. I mean, it was a rough day all around, but having a very strong finish. This is good points here for you for the start of this playoff picture.
Yeah, big picture, obviously. I think this is gonna put us in a great spot for next week. But and if you told me before the race that I was gonna finish third, I would have been happy. But I feel like I should have had that win.
Oh, definitely. You definitely had it, on that right before that last caution came out. And man, as soon as I saw you get sideways up into that wall, my heart just absolutely broke into a million pieces. But I'm glad that you were able to rally back to a third place finish, man.
Yeah, still can't be upset with third, and this is gonna put us in a great spot for next week. So, like it.
So next week is going to be the Darlington Raceway, the Southern 250. How do you feel going from this track to that track? Two very hard tracks at the bottom line, but how good are you there?
I'm pretty good there, actually. I really like Darlington. It's one of my favorite tracks. So definitely looking forward to it.
Well, we can't wait to watch you. Congratulations again on third place finish here in Phoenix. I know you wanted more, but it was still a fantastic finish. We'll let you get back digressing this race. Good luck next week.
All right, thank you guys.
That was the 22 of Justin Johnson. I guess we'll pull in Jaden Wicks next, and that number 88, Mike.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
Hey, Jaden. Jaden, this is the boys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
Fantastic finish. Little bit of strategy coming in and getting fresh tires there for the green-white checkered. Took advantage of the 22 getting up the track a little bit on that last corner. Talk us through the last couple laps.
Honestly, I wasn't really trying to come in and ruin anybody's night in the playoffs, so wasn't trying to do any of that. So I just, when coming to the last lap, when last turn, when the 22 moved the 77 up, I saw a door open. I was like, I'm gonna take it, and I just pushed him up the track a little and went in there and got second. That's my main strategy was to stay in top 10 all night because cautions were flying left and right.
Yeah, definitely. The cautions definitely played a big part in tonight's race. We did see you, a couple times get into a little bit of trouble. But how did your car handle in traffic as you made your way back up here to the second place finish?
It was very, very loose. I had a very loose setup, so I tried to take advantage of that. But my main strategy was to save as much tire as I could, and like during that last 30 laps of the green flag run, I slowly started to catch them guys because I was saving my tires a little bit more. So that was my main strategy.
All right, and on that final restart, you started in third, right behind that 43 machine of Will Austin. What were your thoughts coming to that green flag? And then once you guys started moving and you saw that outside row not go, what were your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, I started behind the 48, and he just did not get going, which killed all my momentum on the restart. And my main battle was with the 22, who got 4 fresh tires also with me. So if I could have got around him, I feel like I could have had it in the bag. But just that outside line did not get going at all.
Definitely a heartbreaking moment there on that final restart, but you came back to second. Before we do let you go today, Jaden, is there anybody that you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Rhea for letting me come in here and race. You guys that broadcast every week. And yeah, I'd like to thank my family and my smoking hot wife.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the driver of that number 88 Red Bull Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. We will see you next week at Darlington.
Yes, sir. See y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, that number 77, Craig Lautenslager in that Foster's Lager Chevrolet. Craig, what an incredible race for you today. What were your thoughts on that final restart and just all around, how was that Foster's number 77?
I felt like we had a good car tonight. Definitely not a dominant car. Very hard to make a pass or, get around somebody unless you had a tire advantage. And then I think we were beaten by the 22 if that had gone green. And then, he went around and I made the call to come and take tires. And then I saw the 43 stay out. So I was like, man, if there's too many cars in between him and me, I might be in trouble here. But decided to take two and came out like basically behind the top two cars and on the bottom where you need to be. And then it was just a matter of executing after that.
Yeah, definitely. And,
Uh,
go ahead, Ethan.
oh yeah. What was going through your head when that 22 laid the bumper to you on the last corner?
I mean, annoyance to start off with because he'd done it to me twice, not for the lead during the race. So I was not real happy about it, but we just held on to it and then got back to the gas in time to bring it home for the win.
You were saying, Mike?
Yeah, definitely a really good save there. I think down into the final corner there. Congratulations again on your victory. This will make it win number 2 in almost just about the same amount of weeks, I believe.
Yeah, it's 2 in a row.
So I mean, now you got that first win off your shoulder. You come back for 2 in a row next week at Darlington. How well do you perform at Darlington, and are you able to make it possibly 3 in a row?
I think I have as good a shot as anyone of winning Darlington. Darlington's been one of my better tracks ever since I started iRacing, and I don't feel like I've been that great there in the new Cup car, but I think I could have just as good a chance as anybody. So I'm good at saving my tires, and we'll see how it plays out.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. All right, and before we let you go today, Craig, is there anybody that you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Just thanks to Rhea and all the admins and everybody who puts this on, and yeah, just keep coming out because I'm having fun winning these things, I guess. But no, it's good. It just everybody comes out, really.
Yeah, absolutely. What an incredible run for you today. Good luck next week in Darlington, and if my calculations are correct in my head, that might catapult you up to the top of the leaderboard for the playoffs. So you have a really good, strong start here to the playoffs, and we're looking forward to how everything goes out afterwards.
Yeah, I assume it does the NASCAR rules where you lock yourself into the next round, but yeah, gonna have a really good shot, and then in the round after that to get through there. So good start for me.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 77 Foster's Lager, Craig Lautenslager. We'll see you next week, buddy. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible race we had today. Let's go ahead and take a look at our final results here. As you see here, Craig Lautenslager for Spire Motorsports in that number 77 machine. He will bring it home with your race win. Jaden Wicks in that number 88 machine. Very strong finish for him in that Trackhouse machine. Justin Johnson had an incredible turnaround to come home third in that number 22. Will Austin and Angel Hernandez, they will come home fourth and fifth. Chris Otto, Mark Gonzalez, Joey Maines, Fabrico Lamana, Charles Roberson, they will finish out your top 10. James Bowles, Chris Van Mastre, Cody Meadows, Steven Sire, Thaddeus Friel Jr. will round out your top 15. John Hopley, Isaac Wilson, Danny Solo, Dylan Lansdale, Timothy Perryman, David Justin, Scott Trusty. Let me get rid of this here. There we go. Eric Jorgensen, Ethan Farless, they will round out your top 24. 25th is going to be Dylan Smith, Jimmy Johnson, David Anderson, Larry Fairman, Michael Hoffledason, Gabe Ledger, Justin Barkley, Zach Phillips Sr., Chris Bishop, Thomas Flynn, and Nicholas Johnson. They'll round out your top 35. And to round out your field, it's going to be Parker Standard, Matt Metler, Christian Delgado, Bob Wyckoff, Christopher Walker, Brian Treadwell, and rounding out the field, it's going to be that number 1 machine of Brian White, unable to get his machine started for the start of this race. But all around, really good race. I know your day ended early, Ethan. What was your thoughts on the overall race today, and what are your thoughts about next week heading into Darlington?
Well, next week is going to be the same as every week. Just try to stay out of everybody else's wrecks. That's pretty much what ends our days is everybody else driving a little bit recklessly and causing a bunch of cautions. So just got to keep the nose clean. Basically all there is to it. Looking at the playoff picture, though, Danny Solo comes home in 18th, and Chris Masterschmidt in the 12th position. So I think Masterschmidt might be able to, if he has a good race next week, might be able to get into the next round of the playoffs. We'll have to release the updated after all the math is done and all that, but it's definitely going to be really, really fun to watch some of these drivers racing next week. Almost want to be up in the broadcast booth instead of out there on the track, knowing Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, again, like I said, this goes to any of the drivers out there. If you guys want to come join up in the booth, if you can't race or if you get wrecked out early, just show up. Don't even bother asking. Just pop in and say hello. We'll do an introduction and we'll go, hey, let's go. So everybody and anybody is welcome up here, guys. The fans absolutely love hearing from the drivers. So at any point in time, just come on up, say hi. If you're under caution, you want to jump in, say hey, give a shout out and leave. That's fine by me. More the merrier. And yeah, so whatever happens next week, Ethan, hopefully we'll talk to you in Victory Lane, but you're more than welcome to come up at any time.
Very much appreciated, sir. Very much appreciated. Big shout out to Fearless Motorsports, my teammates over there. We've had a lot of fun here the past couple weeks, so hope to keep it up.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, Dakota LaRue, who had to ditch out early for a race that he's racing right now at Talladega, Ethan Farless, driver of that number 19 Bass Pro Shop machine, and everybody here on the iCast Racing Network. Thank you guys so much for joining. Can't wait to see you guys all next week right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. And as you guys know how it goes, you guys have yourself a beautiful, wonderful evening. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, adios, happy time zones.
This has been a press forward by. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.